the Old Faithful Inn and Lodge, the old structure that surrounds the gorgeous geyser in Yellowstone National Park, when a big snowstorm hit and the temperatures just plummeted, we weren't really sure what we were going to do because it was pretty cold outside and there were no rooms left in the inn, so to speak. So, surprise, surprise, a couple of cyclists walked in and we had a great interview with Wade Loo, who we found very inspirational and who really encouraged us and gave us some ideas about how we could continue in this frigid weather. So, without further ado, let me present Wade Loo.
And I have an intrepid young bicyclist with me, getting ready to watch Untitled Chapter. What's your name?
Wade Loo.
Wade Loo. Wade, what route are you riding?
We're riding the Trans Am route from east to west, starting in Yorktown, Virginia, all the way, hopefully, to Astoria, Oregon.
So whatever possessed you to do this? I mean, how many miles? First of all, how many miles is it?
Well, I think the official route is like 4,200 and something, but we've gone off route a couple of times, and so it'll probably be closer to 4,500 when it's all said and done. In Missouri, we did not ride through the Ozarks. We actually went up north to the Katy Trail, which is a rails to trails conversion of about 240 miles, and that was spectacular. So if anyone's interested, I highly recommend doing that. But you have to get off the Trans Am route. And when I say Trans Am route, that's related to the route pioneered by the Adventure Cycling Organization out of Missoula, Montana. Most of the route is labeled in states like Virginia, Kentucky. I think Colorado has a couple of signs, but some states, they don't put the signs down, so you have to really have good maps.
So why are you doing this? This seems like a very long project.
I got into cycling, about 8 years ago, and thought, really enjoyed it. Did a couple of week-long supported rides, from San Francisco down to the Mexican border, New York down to DC, a little past DC, and then the Glacier National Park up into the Canadian Rockies, and love those. And what's next, right? So what's the next big goal? And that Trans Am route looked like a good one. So it's kind of been in the back of my mind, and I was talking to one of my relatives, and I said, hey, I'm going to go thinking about doing the Trans Am route. She goes, oh, I'll do that. So the two of us have been planning for only about 8 months, and here we are.
Here you are.
Over 3,000 miles in already.
So what did you bring along that you wish you hadn't brought, or that you don't need, or?
You know, one of the things that's great about the whole Trans Am cycling is there's a lot of folks who've done it before us, and there's a lot of information on the web of what people have brought and what they sent back, and so there wasn't much we sent back that I brought on too much stuff. The only thing I did send back was I had a solar charger, and decided I didn't need that because the way we're doing a couple of days of camping, or 2 or 3 days, and then we'll stay in a hotel. And with the battery backup, I can charge in the hotel, or I can find plugs in various public arenas, except for the national parks, visitor centers. They will not allow you to charge things. So.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, but you found out, huh?
I found out. Very polite park ranger informed us we could not charge in their facility. So.
Interesting. So what has been your hardest day on the route so far?
You know, I think a few days ago we were coming into Du Bois from, where were we coming from? Zelander, maybe? And the wind was really heavy in our face, headwind. It wasn't a crosswind, and that was pretty tough. You know, when you read the blogs, you hear Kansas can be really bad, and headwinds, and you have, because we're going from east to west, and heat. But we were very fortunate in Kansas. It wasn't so bad. The other thing is, you know, when you look at the whole Trans Am route, you see something called Hoosier Pass in Colorado at 11,500 feet. And you go, oh my gosh, that's going to be really, really bad. But it wasn't so bad. And actually the mountains in Appalachia, in Kentucky and Virginia were tougher. They're short, but they're steeper. So we're finding that the West, in terms of difficulty of climbing, is just kind of a non-event. The biggest issue is just wind. So if you've got a 20 to 30 mile an hour headwind or gusts like that, that's tough. And there's 3 of us cycling together, so what we do is we draft to give each other a break. So that seems to be working, but we just don't make very much progress on those days.
Wow. What advice do you have for new people? Jimmy and I are both new at this. What advice do you have for new people that want to do this route, but maybe they're not so sure this is the thing to do, or it seems daunting?
Well, I think it is daunting, but I think, in terms of recommendations, is to find some people who've done some rides and go with them on some shorter ones first. So that's why I said I did a couple of week-long rides. And then I think ultimately you just gotta jump in the water and do it. And if you can do a couple of week-long, self-supported, because we're self-supported. We don't have a SAG van, or we're not credit card camping. We're actually staying camping like last night in the snow. So you got to just got to do it.
Tell me about last night. We fortunately found accommodations, but it was a horrible storm that came through. The temperatures dipped, I don't know to what.
It only got down to about 29 or maybe 27. I was looking at the thermometer thing, and it wasn't too bad because we have layered gears, right? For cyclists are always into layers, and that seemed to work pretty good. Actually, it wasn't that bad. Our tent is totally soaked, but it'll be fine. It'll dry out.
Well, you are very positive about it, and that's refreshing. Is there anything you want to say, maybe to folks back home that might be watching this video one day, or to other cyclists that I didn't ask?
Well, 2 things. I think the support from family. My wife has been great, helping. Whether it be booking reservations or sending care packages. And I know one of my other cyclist friends, Jeff, his wife has been sending care packages that we've all been enjoying. The beef jerky and the dried fruits has been wonderful. So all the support you get from your family and friends, and you get little notes from them, and that's always been really appreciated. But in terms of recommendations for others, really the sense of the bicycling community is wonderful. And what you find is you're crossing, people coming the other direction, they all stop and we'll chat. People where we stay at, places that we stay at, whether it be using warm showers, churches, fire stations, city parks, everyone's been wonderful. The police have been wonderful. Everyone says, oh, be careful, there's a lot of crazy drivers out there. And we've been on the road a little over 2 months, and we can count, maybe 6 people out of all the thousands of people that have been passing us that have said, get off the road. And that's a pretty low percentage, right? So I think it's renewed our faith in humanity. It's been a really wonderful experience. So my only recommendation is go for it.
Well, thank you. I really appreciate your time, and this is a cold day, but you guys are out there doing it, and we hope that everybody who's listening at home will have the same feeling. So they should get out and do it. Why not?